The following training is brought to you by the Niagara Library System. We serve our member libraries in Niagara, Orleans, and Genesee counties. Visit your local library homepage and use your library card to get access to streaming videos, downloadable music, audiobooks, ebooks, and even more from the comfort of your own home. Thank you.
Hello. So here we are again, and I'm doing the second part of the emotional contagion video. So if you haven't seen the first part, by all means, you can click on the video. It's there. The too long didn't read version of this is that there is experimental evidence of massive scale emotional contagion through social networks. So we don't need any actual contact, and we can definitely pick up on other people's moods, and not just in person, but even through computer mediated transference. So again, the emotional contagion is the phenomenon there that individuals tend to express and feel emotions that are similar to those of others. So that is the emotional contagion, and we see this physically when you have mirroring behaviors. When a person is in tune with another person, they can mimic each other's actions. So the study that I began talking about in the first video, we'll go ahead and finish here. And basically the research demonstrates that there is definite emotional contagion. It doesn't have to be in-person, face-to-face interaction. It can be nonverbal interaction. It can be just through text. So that can be either kind of really great or really scary. It's that creepy cool factor that's there. And let's go on with the study and go to the figure that shows the data and what they did. Okay, so the experiment manipulated the extent to which people, and again, the N equals 689,003 people. That is almost 700,000 people in the experiment. Now, one of the things I did not like about this, and they mentioned this in the experiment, again, you can see the whole thing in the directly from the link, is that people didn't know we were being experimented on. The only link that you needed to be included in the experiment is that you viewed Facebook in English. That's in the experiment there. That was their only. It wasn't the amount of time that they used Facebook. It was just a random assortment of people who happen to view Facebook within the English language. So, you know, there can be things, and the study can be picked apart, of course, as all studies really can, all right? But when you have almost 700,000 people and you get a statistically significant answer, that's really good. I mean, that's a pretty strong result when you have that many people and you get a statistically significant answer that emotional contagion, whether positive or negative, is real. So almost 700,000 people were exposed to emotional expressions in their news feeds. This tested whether exposure to emotions led people to change their own posting behaviors. In particular, whether exposure to emotional content led people to post content that was consistent with the exposure, thereby testing whether the exposure to verbal affective expressions leads to similar verbal expressions, which is a form of emotional contagion. And the results definitely show the contagion. As figure 1 illustrates, I'm just going to go through here. So when people were exposed to more positive words, and that is the negativity was reduced, you can see here the darker the control group versus the experimental. Positive words went up, negativity went down. When positivity was actually reduced, negativity went up, positivity went down. So this is these two are the same, that negativity was reduced, positivity, when that was reduced, then people were more negative. When negativity was reduced or positivity reduced, it showed the same effects. And For people who had positive content reduced in their newsfeed, a larger percentage of words in the people's status updates were negative, and a smaller percent were positive. When negativity was reduced, the opposite pattern occurred. So the person's status updates were actually positive, and then a larger percentage of their feed would be positive, or a smaller percentage would actually be negative. These results suggest that the emotions expressed by friends via online social networks influence our own moods, constituting, to our knowledge, the first experimental evidence for massive scale emotional contagion via social networks, and providing support for previously contested claims that emotions spread via contagion through a network. And they do. Like I mentioned, these are some of these things we've talked about. There have been lots of discussions about the depression in young girls, and the more you're on social media, the higher depression rates and things of that nature. It's true. However, the bright spot in this is that the opposite is also true. The more positivity and the more things that you see that are positive on social media, the more positive your own mood becomes. So what I mentioned down here is how might libraries use this. People don't always remember you, but they remember how you made them feel. That's an old adage and an excellent rule. If you're consistent in your posting, you note feedback and awarding things like top fan badges, commenting back to people who comment on your posts, and that you may increase your patrons' positive feelings and general feelings towards the library. No interaction with our patrons is ever wasted, and it really is true. So, good luck, and I hope you find this stuff useful. Let me know, leave a comment, or send me an email, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks.